Hi everybody, it's Alexa here from Pages of Forbidden Love. Today I'm actually here to do a guest post on Heather's blog. She asked me to do a post for her, and she wanted me to originally do a review possibly on an ARC book, but I didn't really have anything that I felt was current or coming out in the next month or so to actually give to her. Some of the ARCs that I have, they're not coming out until June to August time period. So I was just chatting with her, and I thought we would do a video instead, and I'm going to do kind of the book versus movie debate for you guys today. It's a huge controversy, and I've kind of wanted to talk about it for a little while now. So just first I'm going to show you some books that have already been made into TV shows or movies, and I'm going to then show you some rumored ones, and then we'll have a little bit of a debate after that. The first one that I kind of thought of, this is Dead Until Dark. It is the first book of the Sookie Stackhouse novels. These are actually a TV series now. I believe the TV series is in its 3rd or 4th season, possibly. It's called True Blood, and I'm sure many of you have watched it. I believe it's an HBO show, though, so not everybody gets it. But a lot of people like this. I think the books are good. I've never watched the show, though, so I can't really comment on that. Kind of an older movie, but something that kind of came out when teen books were first getting popular, I think. This is Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. It was made into a movie. There is 3 more books to this series, and all 3 of those were kind of mashed up into the second movie. I think the first movie did a good job of portraying this book, but the second movie, it just kind of became it kind of mashed together all of the other books, and I don't think it did a very good job. So the first movie was pretty good, kind of matched the book. After that, not so much. Of course, the next one is a very popular movie, very popular book. There's been a lot of talk about this one. It's very big, and it's frankly overrated at this point, but it's Twilight. Of course, these were made into movies. I really liked the book. I got into this series way before a lot of people actually knew about it. I liked the book. Thought the movie was good. I thought it kind of did an accurate portrayal, I guess you could say, of most of Twilight. However, after the first movie, it went downhill from there. New Moon was cheesy. It didn't really follow the storyline very well. The characters weren't acting like themselves. And I've heard Eclipse, which Eclipse is my favorite book, so I'm really kind of hesitant to ruin it by watching the 3rd movie. I own the 3rd movie just because I've heard it's the best out of all of the movies. But again, I'm hesitant at this point to see if the characters are actually going to pull that one off. And of course, Breaking Dawn is going to be 2 movies, I think, now, kind of like what they did with Harry Potter. Which brings up a good point. I didn't pull my Harry Potter book down just because it's way up on the top shelf and I couldn't actually reach that one. But Harry Potter also made into movies. Books, much, much, much better, because obviously Harry Potter books, especially when you get to the end couple books, I think the 5th book was the longest book, and it was almost 900 pages, I believe, or definitely over 700 pages. When you turn that into a movie, it's not a very accurate portrayal. Movies can only take a couple pieces of the original book and make it into a movie, so it just didn't really work. I mean, Harry Potter movies, they're awesome, they are great, they do a lot of magical, cool things in there for the witchcraft stuff, but other than that, they don't really correctly portray the books, in my opinion. And this is the last one I'm going to show you that is actually made into a movie. It's Eragon. Again, another thick book. It's a fantasy book, so I mean, it's kind of hard to take the complex story that is a fantasy novel, especially, I mean, any fantasy novel is normally a thick book, and it's very complex, and the characters and the storyline and all of the creatures and everything, it's very hard to keep up with all of that. I thought the movie was just okay. The book is good, and the movie just could never actually correctly portray this, which is probably why they didn't make books 2 and 3 into a movie. Might want to learn a little bit of something from that. Now I'm going to show you a couple books that are either rumored to be movies, or they're kind of in the first stages of becoming movies. The first one is in like a couple stages of becoming a movie. There's been some big news on the blog for the past week of some of the characters being cast already. It's The Hunger Games. I really love The Hunger Games. I thought it was a great dystopian novel, has a very good feel to it. The first book is by far the best of the whole series, but I don't want to see it made into a movie. I'm sorry, I just don't at this point. I mean, it's an awesome book, and it'll probably make a pretty good movie just because of all of the action and the little bit of the romance on the side that you see here with Peeta when they're actually in the Hunger Games. But I just don't really care to see this be made into a movie. Great book, and I really don't want it to be ruined with a movie. That's just my opinion, though. Next is one that has been rumored lately to be a movie. Some people were picking like Dreamcast for some of the characters for this one, at least as far as I know. And the book is Incarceron, which obviously this is the first book. The second book recently came out. So yeah, again, good book. It's again kind of like a sci-fi kind of feel to this one. You know, there's a lot of kind of dystopian parts in it. There's a little bit of kind of like science fiction going on in here. Good book. Also, again, don't want to be seen it made into a movie at all, because I feel that it's a very complex world yet again, just the way that the whole world works, and I think it would kind of be hard to make it into a movie. Sure, I guess you could get some dark caves for the part where they're actually inside the prison, and you could make a whole historical set. I mean, you could pretty much do anything in movies nowadays with the graphics and all of that great stuff, but again, don't want to be seen made into a movie. Are you getting the trend here? Like, I really just don't want to see anything made into movies anymore. It's kind of just getting old, and I'll explain why after this book. And the last book that is rumored to be made into a movie, they might already be in the process of making this one. I don't know. I'm not really keeping up with the book to movie news anymore because I think it's kind of ridiculous. But it's City of Bones. This is the first book in the Mortal Instruments series. I thought this book was good. I didn't think it was fantastic like everybody else seems to think about this whole series. I've been told that the series, you know, gets better further along. Some of the things that I didn't like in this book apparently get resolved, and it changes the story quite a bit. But, yeah, the book was okay. You know, it was okay to good range for me. And, they're talking about making it into a movie, kind of the theme here, if you haven't gotten that yet. But, yeah, just don't really want to see it either. So if you're kind of paying attention now, as you could probably tell, the theme is that I don't want the books that are rumored to be made into movies actually be made into movies, because I just feel that at this point it's kind of ridiculous. I feel like they must have fired all of the writers in Hollywood at this point and just said, hey, you know, we're gonna go pick up all of the books that are currently on the teen shelf, or even some adult books have been made into TV shows, movies, etc., etc. All of, hint hint, Nicholas Sparks, all of his books are always made into a movie. Granted, they've made some pretty good tearjerker movies, but really, I think it's kind of time to stop here. I just feel that we've kind of gotten away from what we wanted. People always get really excited when they hear their favorite books are going to be made into movies, and I just feel books are books for a reason. Books are there for you to use your imagination, for you to kind of picture the character in your own way. Sometimes even when a character is described a certain way, pretend he's described with black hair, you might not picture him that way. Maybe you'll picture him with short, dark brown hair instead of shaggy or black hair. You know, he's kind of, the characters can kind of gain your own elements a little bit, gain kind of what you like in a person, or what you like in a heroine, or what you really find attractive in all of the great male characters such as Patch and Ash and Peeta and Gale and all of these great male characters that we have in all of the books, and we can kind of turn them into something that's a little bit more personal to us. So I feel at this point, movies, although they could give you kind of an anecdote from the story or a small glimpse into the story that might make you want to read the book, I feel at this point my philosophy is book first, and I think we need to stop getting excited when they get made into movies. Honestly, we need to get kids to read books, not just say, oh, it'll be made into a movie within 7 months from now, why don't you just wait for that to happen? It's getting a little bit old. I think they need to put some writers back into Hollywood so that when I go to the box office, everything doesn't have a small caption on the bottom, was originally based on a novel by so-and-so. It's just kind of gotten annoying. I think the movie kind of book news. Books are kind of one world, they're over here. Movies, media, all that stuff, it's over here. And I think they've been colliding for a long time now, and I think it's kind of time for them to take a break from each other. I think we need to kind of slow down the excitement of the book to movie world. They're two separate worlds, they're both medias. Books are media, even though they're a little bit different, they're just written, where I just feel you have a more personal connection with the book. That's just me, and I'd really love to hear your opinion, so whether you comment on my blog, which is Pages of Forbidden Love, or whether you comment here on Heather's blog, which is Paranormal Book Junkie, we'd both really love to hear your thoughts on this topic, me especially, just because I find this topic very kind of exciting, and many people think many different things about this. So yeah, just leave us a comment, we'd love to hear what you have to say, and other than that, I hope you have a good book week.